Why do I look like a drug dealer in these incoming clips and this pretty much entire video? I'm not going to sugarcoat it.
I'll leave that up for interpretation for you guys, but enjoy the video.
Long-term Model S Plaid ownership review, things I like and I don't like about it, and just kind of giving you a bit of like a, I don't know, 5 to 10 minute rant from a supercar owner's perspective. We'll get down into that. I'll start with the negatives. I'm just going to have to think about that for a second. And while I'm doing that, I just want you to know, I know that you're on the toilet right now. I know that you're watching this as you're drinking or eating something or in the bathroom or in someone else's house in the guest room, and you're trying to get away from them. To appease the YouTube gods, you're going to have to, there's a button somewhere down there. Just, it's a thumbs up. Looks like a thumb that's up on a fist. Thumbs up. Click on it. Tap it if it's mobile. Click on it if you're on your PC. Nobody does that anymore. Some people do. I do. The YouTube gods are watching you, even when you think they're not. So make sure you subscribe as well. With that said, I still can't think of any negatives, but I'm going to give you just my experience right off the top. This isn't very scripted. As you can see, I'm going to be as direct as possible. But just some background is coming from someone who's owned a few different, I don't know what you would classify a C7Z06 as, but Lamborghinis, Ferraris, McLarens, Porsches, lots of Porsches, too many Porsches, Porsches, if you want to go that route. I think Porsche, when people say Porsche, like, bro, I'm not German, I'm American. It's a Porsche. I digress. I just want to get into a few of the things about, like, comparing this to if you're shopping, cross-shopping this, because you got the performance, right? There's some people that are going to argue that, but you have the performance of the Plaid, which is up there and past supercar level. Yeah, if you're driving on a track, that's one thing. But if you really want the ultimate track experience, you're going to get like an Ariel Atom. You're going to get something crazy like that. Or you're going to build your own car. Or maybe you're going to get a supercar and you're going to track it. Maybe you want to, get the track insurance and all that stuff too. That's something to consider. But I'm just going off of daily driving or street driving, weekend driving, whatever. Because this car, I do drive this on the weekends, but I definitely drive it during the week if I'm going to and from places, if I'm going to my place of business, my place of work, or if I'm going really anywhere during the week. On the weekends, there are other cars we use. I have a Model Y Performance for my fiance, so she drives that during the week as well. She loves it. We will give you, because I know y'all love Liesel so much. That's if you aren't familiar with the channel, that's the name of my fiance who owns the Model Y Performance. You might be able to see it. It's the gray thing in the back behind my back there. You see that? Do you see that? Is it? I don't even know if you can see that, but it's back there. We park these out here sometimes or in the garage, but we're lazy, and this is just a Tesla. In my opinion, it's a car. It's not going to rot. It's not going to rust. It's fine. Believe it or not, it's fine in the rain, especially with the PPF and then the wrap and the tint and blah, 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 blah. There's layers on layers on layers of protection. This versus a supercar, right? We're going to try and do this in one take. So the main thing is the convenience factor. I am someone, and if you're someone that's looking into one of these and you clicked on this video, unless you're someone that got intrigued by the title, maybe that's the case, but it very well could be. But for the most part, what got me looking into the C7Z06, nice daily driver I could use that I can beat on, put a lot of miles on, and not really care about resale value. Somehow I profited off of that. It's because I got it at a good price, but that's not the point of this video. The Plaid, it's utility. It's these cars are appliances to me at that point, where I'm using them as utility. It's not just like a supercar that is going to sit there and I'm going to drive it a lot, relatively. But mostly I'm buying it to hold it, enjoy it, pay some insurance, flip it, and either get most of my money back or, in the past few years, definitely. But typically, most of the cars go down in value. But if you get in at the right price, you can kind of just ride out that excess, that equity you have, ride it out and sell it before you start to lose money, if that's something you care about. I avoid depreciation like the plague, so I've always tried to enjoy cars that depreciate a lot less than others. We're not going to get into what the Plaid's been doing, because that's for a different video. I think we've covered it in the past too, but I can always get into that a little bit more in the future. But you're cross-shopping like a C7 Z06. I know this might not add up at first, but hear me out. You're cross-shopping like a C7 Z06, Corvettes, right? Or C8s, C8 Z06s, Porsches, things like that. Vehicles that they make a lot of sense for the price. They're a great value, and then they make a ton of sense, whether it be cargo space or the back seats or the front or the trunk or whatever. You know, say you have a Cayman. I've had a GT4. I've had a 987. I've had a few different cars that are like that with the space, and it's nice to have. It's nice to have the 2 extra seats or whatever. In 2-seater cars when I was younger, before I met my girl, you know, you're out with a friend and you see girls. It's kind of funny to pick them up. I'm not saying I've ever done this. Just piling like 2 or 3 girls, if you're leaving a club or something in Philly, in your car and taking them wherever your place, dropping them off or whatever, getting their numbers, and then eventually meeting up with them later again too, or some shit like that. That kind of is fun in its own way. But to have the functional, actual, literal, legal seats and placement to have multiple people, that's going to be the things that's much more long-lived and happen a lot more frequently than that one scenario I just gave you that might happen a few times in your life, unless you're trying to have that happen a lot. And if you're trying to have that happen a lot, you're increasing the likelihood that you're going to get in some sort of situation or in trouble or cite. So, you know, get cited or fined or summons or something for it. So I'm just trying to break that down for you and let you know that it's a pickle, right? Because the Plaid makes so much sense, and I am so happy with it. I've had this for almost 2 years. It's about 2 years. Give like maybe 3 weeks. Incredible. This one car. I've had 2 others prior, and I wouldn't even consider the ownership experience of them because it was so short. And when I say 2 cars, I mean 2 other Plaids, Model S Plaids. They were 21s. This is a 22. This is a refresh. And I love it. I love it. I like the tech. We'll go into some things, right? Convenience factors, things that I appreciate the most, and we'll go from there because it's what's going to come off the top of my head first. This is going to sound crazy, but consider when you're in a gas vehicle and saying you're driving to work, a lot of you probably have a job, so you're going Monday through Friday to work and back. You're filling your car up with fuel depending on how far you are, maybe once a week, maybe twice a week, maybe less. But for me, when I go to work or when I'm going in and I come out, I want to get home. I just want to be there, right? I want to not have any other detours or any other stops or problems or whatever. I'm a very speed-oriented person. I'm not rushing, but I just don't want to waste time. It adds up. If you take 15 minutes to go get gas once a week, times 52, I don't know. What's that? Like 75,000 minutes? I don't know. Something like that. That's a good chunk of time that you could just have back, right? So benefit is we can charge these cars anywhere I have a supercharger or a wall connector, a charger at home. I don't go to superchargers. I've been to like 3. They're not that bad. And one thing a lot of people don't know is if you do road trip and you supercharge from like, you know, you're at like 10 or 5 or 15 or 20%, from that percent up to 80, you get there in like 10 to 15 minutes. 10 to 15 minutes. Time yourself next time you stop to get gas, and don't rush. Just do it like as you would, right? Because it's not about it being a race. It's about like you just doing the thing and how long does it take. If you do want to be very speed oriented and speed through it and not rush but just go fast, try that out too. But if you're traveling from New York or New Jersey to Florida, you're probably stopping 4 to 5, maybe 6 times, maybe 3 times. Probably not though. And when you stop, you're going to want to stretch your legs a little bit, so you're going to walk to the restroom. And let me break this down for you, what it's going to be like, because a lot of people get confused about this, and I just want to go into detail about it. I don't have a video on it. I'd like to just break it down. So you have a diesel pickup truck that gets 650 miles to the gallon or something like that. You got to find, which typically you're going to find space. You got to find, and I'm going from all the gas stations I go to are typically empty. All the superchargers I've been to are really empty. So it's not like LA where there's a 45-minute wait to get up to a charger, because that's wild. And that's a different story. And I can't speak from those experiences because I don't have them. They don't exist for me. What exists for me is what I've done in the past. And so you have a diesel truck. Like I was saying, you pull up, you find open pump, you stop there, you get out, you find your card, you do your stuff, you enter the stuff, your zip code, la la la, you swipe your card, you crank open the fuel tank, which might be dirty. I'm not trying to nitpick there, but let's just like look at all the things you're doing. You're touching all these things. You might have to wipe your hands or wash your hands. You're probably going to do that anyway after you go to the bathroom. And then you hook it up, you get it going. You might have a few issues where you got to, it's not pumping because there's new quick release pumps or whatever where they need the pressure. And my F430 was like that, and even 765 is like that. But so you go in. That was like what, 3 or 4 minutes, maybe. You go in, you order some food. As you're waiting, if you want to be efficient, you order your food, then you go to the bathroom. You come back, you get your food. Maybe another 10 minutes has gone by. You walk back, you get your stuff, and then you get in your diesel truck and you leave. It's probably been like 12, 15 minutes. 12, 15 minutes. Here's how that happens in, just say this car, the Plaid. Pull up the supercharger, back up. My card's on file already on the car. Back up, fucking grab the little connecty cable, boop. That opens up for you. Pop it right in. I didn't touch anything. My hands didn't get dirty. Again, like I don't really care about that, but like it's nice to not have to get dirt off of yourself, especially when you have a fucking white interior. And it's nice to keep things clean. And then you go in and you do everything I just said the last example did. You go in, you order your food. While you order your food, you go get your stuff. You wash your hands, you hit the bathroom, you do whatever you need to do. And you're still on the toilet too, probably. It's crazy. You haven't liked the video yet? Weird. Okay, yeah. Just a reminder. I'm kidding. I'm not trying to hassle you guys. I don't care. Do whatever you want. We're giving away a card to 100K subscribers, though. So just make sure you're subscribed. I'm going to do a random comment selector or something on one of our videos. So just make sure you comment. Make sure you're subscribed. And boom, your food's ready. You're done with that. You walk back. It's been 12, 15 minutes. And now you're at 80% again, or like 85%, because it only takes about that time to get from 0 to 80. 80 to 100 is way longer. Way longer. And a way I've seen this broken down, and the reason why, because people go, that doesn't make any sense. Well, it does, and here's why. Think of the battery pack as a parking lot. If that parking lot's empty, easy to find a space, right? So all these lithium ions are trying to find spaces. Do. And now as the parking lot's 80% full, you got to circle around the parking lot a little bit more to find a space. Okay, now you found one. It takes a little bit longer, if that makes sense. It's the best way to sum it up. And that's kind of it for the charging. Super convenient. But I digress. There are no fuel detours in this car, obviously. You just go home. If you have the space to have a charger. But like if you're looking at a car like this, you might not live, unless you live in like cities. That sounds so pretentious. What I mean by if you have a car like this, if you have a car that is 100 grand, 150 grand, you can probably afford a house. I hope you bought a house before you did that, or multiple properties or whatever. So you have a supercharger set up at a few of them. Hold on 1 second. What is it? It's so nice. You should be capable of having a charger set up if you have the car, right? Unless you're getting like one of those $30,000, $40,000 Model 3s and you live in an apartment complex. I get it. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying you're missing out on a lot. Plus, I don't think they can charge as quick. I think the long ranges and the bigger battery pack cars can charge a lot quicker. So something to consider. But again, we're just going off of the Plaid and my experience from this. Now, McLaren 765 LT, right? That I've never owned a vehicle that goes from a full tank to E, like EE, on what feels like 20 minutes if you're really getting on it. I don't know how you have to try to consume that much fuel in every other vehicle. Like, I don't know how it's possible. The Porsche's crazy fuel effective, fuel efficient. The Z06, I probably got like 200 miles in that. This, if you're really ripping on it, you're probably around like 220 maybe. Full range if you're being responsible or just boring with your driving and trying to be effective and fuel efficient or range efficient. Yeah, you're looking at, I think it's like 400 plus. It's a great segue into how often I charge. Her car and my car, if we're both at the same house, which we typically are, is I charge to like 90% like once every 4 days. I drive about 60 to 70 miles a day, but I don't have that range anxiety that people talk about. It just doesn't exist for me. And a good example I could give you is if you are new to this type of vehicle, switch it back and forth between percentage if you start to get a little concerned, because I think I did start out that way a tiny bit. Once you start to see 30% is like 100 miles, you're not worried about not making it home when you're 15 minutes away, if that makes sense. If there's any other questions you guys want answered that I don't cover too, because I'm not going to cover everything in this video, drop them down below. I just wanted to throw that out there. But that's pretty much like the daily living stuff, right? And then you have space, cargo space, literally never an issue. I've gone to Home Depot with the Plaid and gotten stuff instead of taking a truck. The Model Y, even crazier. But I mean, to be honest, so these back seats back here, they fold down, they fold forward. And then you have so much space in the hatch. So much space. There's like compartments on compartments on compartments. It's just kind of wild. And it's because there's no exhaust, there's no drivetrain, there's no transmission, there's nothing like that down there. So you can get away with doing that. Fit and finish, the interior is incredible. Like, it's carbon fiber everywhere. The white really makes a big difference. It makes the car feel special. I think if I were to have gotten the black interior ever, I don't think this car would feel as special. But the white interior just makes it feel so futuristic and so fun and so cool and on par with like Huracan, Ferrari. And I know some people get upset about that when I say that, but I'm sorry, it's just my opinion. It's how I feel. A lot of this stuff feels premium. Now, you do have some things that feel like this stuff is all solid, but there are some things that just feel kind of finicky, but they're things that you're never going to touch. And even like when we built our house, I was so focused on the material and control and fit and finish and texture of things that tangible things that you touch constantly that are a part of your day. And if it's not a part of your day, who cares? You know? Now, the people that have issues with their Teslas, I've never had any, like literally nothing other than tires needing to be replaced and stuff like that, or blowing a tire out. That's a whole different story. You should be sticking it to the man. You should be complaining to Tesla for sure. I just feel like, from my experience, from what I've seen, like there's got to be a little bit of exaggeration going on, because how did I get such a good car all these times? And then another one, like, we don't have issues. Nothing leaks, nothing squeaks, nothing rattles, nothing feels flimsy. The steering wheel's solid, the yoke's solid. Like, I'm not, you can ask my girl, I'm not the most gentle person in the world. I'm rough. I have to be gentle by decision with things. So, you know, that's really it. I just wanted to go into that, give you guys a quick video. Hope you're having a nice, it's really rainy out today. Hope you're having a nice weekend. Hopefully I can post this tonight or get it up tomorrow or sometime earlier in the week. Maybe it'll be a Monday upload. It'll probably be edited and published today, and it's Sunday. So, happy holidays. I'm going to try and get some more videos out for you a little more frequently. Some people enjoyed the long format stuff. I got some DMs, saw some comments of things. Thank you for the feedback, whether it's good or bad. I'm open to it. It's cool to kind of share the car with you guys. It's cool to share this with you guys. There's a lot of other stuff I want to keep private, and maybe we'll get into that in the future. But so far, just the Teslas. We'll show you all that. Hope you enjoy it. Make sure you're subscribed. We're giving a car away to 100K subscribers. And next, we'll have Liesel do the ownership review, tip to butt, of the Model Y Performance. And yeah, before we end this video, if you haven't seen the Plaid, I'll give you a little quick walk around. I'll show you the cargo space. So let's check that out real quick. This is what I'm talking about with all this cargo space. Crazy. Like, it's wild. This slides out over it, And then you have all that. Those fold down. But it's nice. But yeah, that's it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you subscribe. Don't die.